Donald Trump shakes up the global auto industry. In a bold move that's sending shockwaves through the global auto industry, Donald Trump has declared that all cars sold in America must be made in America. Yep, you heard that right. If a car's going to hit U.S. showrooms, it better roll off an American assembly line. This game-changing decision is forcing foreign automakers to completely rethink their strategies and raising big questions. What will this mean for car prices? Are we staring at the possibility of a trade war? And how will U.S. manufacturing handle this shakeup? Let's break it all down. For years, foreign automakers have been major players in the U.S. car market. Big names like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota aren't just selling cars here. They've got factories on American soil, creating jobs and contributing heavily to the economy. Sounds pretty good, right? But here's the catch. A lot of their production still happens overseas. Why? Well, foreign automakers have been playing it smart, taking advantage of cheaper labor, lower tariffs, and other perks in countries outside the U.S. It's a win-win. They save on production costs, and American consumers get a wide variety of affordable, high-quality vehicles. But now, Trump's flipped the script. His new mandate isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's an ultimatum. The message to foreign automakers is loud and clear. If you want to sell your cars in the United States, you need to make them here, start to finish, no exceptions. At first glance, this might seem like a straightforward push to create more jobs for Americans. And sure, that's part of the goal. But let's be real, the ripple effects of this decision go way beyond just the job market. This move challenges the global manufacturing systems that have been in place for decades and shakes up the economic partnerships the industry has relied on. So, what's next? Will this policy revive American manufacturing and bring back thousands of jobs? Or is it going to lead to skyrocketing car prices and financial headaches for both automakers and consumers? Stay tuned. It's about to get interesting. What does this mean for consumers? Will this policy cause car prices to skyrocket? What happens to the billions foreign automakers have already invested in American manufacturing? With so much on the line, Trump's mandate is setting the stage for massive changes in the global auto industry. Foreign manufacturers are scrambling to figure out their next move, comply with the policy, or push back. Let's unpack what this could mean for consumers and the auto market as a whole. Foreign automakers brace themselves. For decades, companies like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota have followed a strategy that blends U.S. manufacturing with global sourcing. It's been a solid formula. Build some vehicles in the U.S. to meet local demand while keeping costs manageable by relying on overseas production for parts and assembly. But Trump's policy changes the rules entirely. This isn't just about encouraging companies to assemble cars in America. The mandate is clear. Every step of the process, from design to final assembly, must happen on U.S. soil. Take BMW as an example. About 60% of the BMWs sold in the U.S. are already built in Spartanburg, South Carolina. But Trump's mandate means they'd have to bring production of luxury models, like the 7 Series, which are currently manufactured in Europe, to the U.S. This isn't just a small tweak. It's a major overhaul of how they operate. Volkswagen, on the other hand, already assembles over 90% of its U.S. sold vehicles in North America, so they might have an easier time adjusting. Even so, meeting the policy's strict requirements to localize their entire supply chain could disrupt their global operations. Global backlash and trade wars. Could Trump's Made in America policy set off a global trade war? It's starting to look like a possibility. Foreign governments and automakers around the world are not taking this lightly. Countries like Germany, Japan, and South Korea, which have poured billions into the U.S. auto market, are now weighing their options. Germany, home to automotive giants like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, faces a tough decision. These companies have long relied on global supply chains to produce high-quality vehicles efficiently. Now, Trump's mandate forces them to rethink everything, from sourcing parts to final assembly, potentially driving up costs and causing delays. Toyota is also in a tight spot. They've heavily invested in U.S. plants and have a strong American presence, but even they will need to adjust. To comply with the policy, Toyota must ensure every component of their U.S. sold models is made within American borders. This isn't just expensive, it's a logistical nightmare. For automakers, the choice is stark. Shoulder the massive cost of relocating operations or risk losing access to one of the world's biggest car markets. Either way, consumers are likely to feel the ripple effects in the form of higher prices and fewer options. The opportunity for U.S. automakers. While foreign automakers are scrambling to adapt to Trump's new policy, this could be a golden opportunity for American car makers like Ford, General Motors, and Tesla. Take Ford, for instance. The company is already well positioned with its lineup of American-made trucks and SUVs, vehicles that are hugely popular with U.S. consumers. With the new emphasis on domestic production, Ford could double down on its branding as an all-American automaker, potentially boosting its sales. General Motors, GM, could also come out ahead. While GM has focused heavily on electric vehicles in recent years, this policy might prompt them to ramp up production of hybrids and gas-powered cars, appealing to a broader audience. Then there's Tesla. The electric vehicle giant already manufactures much of its lineup in the US, giving it a significant edge as foreign competitors face the daunting task of localizing production. Tesla may find itself in a stronger market position as others work to catch up. Broader economic implications. Trump's Made in America policy aims to revive U.S. manufacturing, but what's the trade-off? On one hand, this could lead to a wave of job creation, especially in manufacturing-heavy states like Michigan, Ohio, and South Carolina, places hit hard by factory closures over the years. On the flip side, it's not a guaranteed win. The rise of automation and advanced manufacturing means that even with increased production, the number of new jobs created might be far less than expected. Meanwhile, higher manufacturing costs could drive up car prices, making vehicles more expensive for consumers. Conclusion. Trump's bold directive has already begun to reshape the automotive industry. The debate is fierce. Will this policy revitalize American manufacturing or spark financial chaos for automakers and buyers? For now, the auto industry is holding its breath, preparing for the changes ahead. What this means for consumers? Will car prices soar? Most experts think so. Manufacturing cars in the US is expensive, and those costs are likely to trickle down to buyers. Consumers who've long enjoyed affordable, foreign-made vehicles might soon face sticker shock when shopping for a new car. That's not all. This policy could mean fewer choices for buyers, especially when it comes to luxury or niche vehicles. Automakers are expected to prioritize high-demand, high-profit models to offset increased costs, leaving some less popular options off the table. Think fewer luxury sedans and more mass-market SUVs. For industries like ride-sharing and delivery services that rely on affordable transportation, this could be a big blow. Rising car prices and limited options might hit these sectors hard. At the same time, Trump's policy could bring a sense of pride for some consumers. Knowing that a vehicle is entirely made in the US might resonate with buyers who want to support American manufacturing. But will that outweigh the higher price tags and limited variety? That's the big question. A brewing trade war. Trump's announcement hasn't just rattled automakers, it's sent shockwaves through the global economy. Countries like Germany, Japan, and South Korea, key players in the US auto market, are now facing tough decisions about how to adapt. For decades, automakers like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota have relied on global supply chains to produce vehicles efficiently. They've invested billions in US factories, but still source many components overseas. Trump's policy flips that model on its head. Some fear this could lead to a full-blown trade war. Countries might retaliate with tariffs or restrictions, potentially upending global trade relationships. Adapt or perish. Foreign automakers now face a tough choice: uproot their business models or lose access to one of the world's biggest car markets. Take BMW, for example. They've invested heavily in their Spartanburg, South Carolina plant, which builds SUVs for the global market. About 60% of the BMWs sold in the US are already made there, but Trump's policy goes beyond assembly. It demands that components and production be fully localized. For luxury models like the BMW 7 Series, currently made in Europe, this is a huge challenge. Volkswagen might have an easier time adapting since over 90% of their US sold vehicles are already built in North America. However, they'll still need to localize their supply chains further, driving up costs. Toyota, despite its strong presence in the US, may also have to rethink its manufacturing strategy. Models currently built in Japan could become a logistical headache if production needs to shift stateside. For automakers, the stakes are high, and the ripple effects of these changes are already reaching American consumers. Whether it's rising prices, fewer choices, or shifts in how cars are made, the industry and its buyers are bracing for impact.